Alrighty guys, we're back in the little shorts for a special request from some of you guys. No, I figured I'd give these a go again. So I'm going to start wearing Body Glide. It's just basically a fat person's aid for chub rub to help prevent chafing. So I'm going to start wearing that while I wear my little shorts, and hopefully it stops me from getting chafing and ingrown hairs or anything of the sort. So, and if it doesn't, then I'll just go back to wearing my other shorts with my boxer briefs to prevent chafing. So this is week 2 of,
week 3.
Yeah, this is night 2 of week 3 of 12 weeks. So we were talking earlier about your weight actually, and your weight, you weighed in this morning at 280 pounds, right?
Yep, 280 exactly.
So going off the weight that you actually could tell that you were consistent at was 286, but reality of the matter is you were probably actually in the 290s when you started. It's just your scale wasn't accurate whenever you actually took your first original weight with your other scale, huh?
Yeah, the scale I had was kind of bouncing around all over the place, and I couldn't get a decent number. So got a new scale, and numbers have been more, I guess, accurate so far. So yeah, I continue using that one.
Yeah, accurate and consistent. That's a big deal for a scale and everything. So, so this night, guys, I like to start with biceps. Richard starts with triceps, just because it makes it go by a little bit faster because we're not waiting on each other because our rest periods are different from one another. That's why you'll notice he's sweatier in the beginning, and as the workout goes on, he'll actually start being less sweaty as it happens. But for this night right here, man, I'll talk about preacher curls since it's on preacher curls. So the reason why I do preacher curls the way that I do them is because if I let my arm go all the way flat on the pad, I get horrendous elbow pain. Like it almost feels like a hyperextension. I get really bad elbow pain. So the reason why you see me rocking forward with it and leaning into it and then coming back as I curl the weight, I sit back into it. This allows me to keep a lot of tension on the bicep through the whole range of motion without extending my elbows and hurting my elbows, because I'm 36, man. I got some beat up joints over the years of working out and powerlifting. So this is just comfortable for me. So I'm not too concerned about form when it comes
37.
to what?
You're 37.
No, I'm 36, my man. I'll be 37 next year.
You're 37 this year.
36.
I'm fixing to be 38, so you should be 37.
Nope, 36, man.
I think you're off.
No, I'm 36.
All right, we'll agree to disagree.
All right, well, facts are facts, man. I was born in 87, so January 87. Do the math. There it is. There it is. Numbers don't lie, right?
Whatever.
So, also here with the hammer curls, I normally do these seated, but I decided I want to do a little bit of body English with them because I felt like it. So at the end here, I was banging them out. I did the 30s for a set of 20, and I was cheating pretty heavy towards the halfway point, but I was just trying to get as much blood in there as I could, because sometimes I just feel like rocking it and cheating it because it feels good. I mean, like I said, this whole process is about doing what feels good and targeting the muscle and pumping the muscle. So if I could get more reps in with a weight, and I can get cheat reps in, and I could get more blood in there and spend a little bit more time under tension, I will. So how do you feel about these, man, the JM press? Like, these aren't exactly JM press, but it's a variation of them. How do you feel about these? I love them, man. My triceps are on fire the whole entire time I do them.
Yeah, I still use the easy curl bar when doing them. I don't use the multi-grip bar like you do. But I was able to add some weight to the bar this week. And yeah, I think it is a different feel than just a traditional skull crusher, but I do feel I get a bit more out of it. Like, I like having the stretch at the end. And everything. So yeah, I feel that it's working very well. So continue doing them and increasing weight, and eventually I'll get to that multi-grip bar.
Yeah, that bar right there is 60 pounds, man. It's really long too. It's longer than your standard Olympic bar, and like I said, it's 60 pounds, and it's a beast. And right here I'm doing a little bit of partials. So if you notice, I'm not pressing the weight straight up. I'm still bringing my elbows back to my hands back towards my face. So my elbows are not extending up like a bench press. They're actually curling back. So I keep the tension on the tricep the whole time, and I never unload the tricep with these. So the difference between these is you're taking your arm through a full range of motion, like the shoulder joint, and then you're getting a stretch at the top, and then you're also getting that peak contraction. If you notice, see right here, if he was going to bench press, his elbows would come down to his sides. but he's not benching. What he's doing, see how his elbows are starting to move position, and then they come back, and then look, it pushes. It doesn't press. He's pushing the weight with the elbows. Like he pushes with the triceps right there. That's not a bench. It's not close to being a bench. So like I said, this is like some type of mutt mixture of like a JM press and an easy curl and everything. But I like the way they feel, so we do them. And again, like I said, man, you just got to find what you like and what works. And like, doesn't matter what the science says and what the articles say and everything and the gurus. It matters if it works, man. If it's working, stick with it. Keep doing it, man. It doesn't matter who says, oh, that's not going to work, or this, that, and the other. If it's working and you're getting bigger or you're getting stronger or you're losing weight or whatever you're doing is producing results, keep doing it because it's working. And that's all the scientific evidence and backing that you need.
Yeah, the fact that I'm right.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, right? Science is just basically performing the same exact like task and having the same out. It's been able to produce the same result. So basically, all a science project is just being able to replicate the same result over and over and over again. So it's like if you take something and drop it and it falls, that's gravity. You can perform a science experience by dropping something. Oh, look, gravity's still working. So, I mean, that's all it is. So when people say, well, we'll trust the science. Well, science is always changing. All it is a thesis. And thesis gets proved, they get debunked and they get proven wrong all the time. The research is always changing and it's always being out, performed, or something is always different from year to year to year to year. So when people say, well, the science, it's the science, the science. Well, go back a year from now, go back 2 years from that, go back a year from that, go back 4 years from that, and the science is going to be all over the place. So like I said, when it comes down to this, really honestly, it comes down to if you feel it and you're getting results, and that's it. How do you like these, man? The bent over tricep kickbacks. I actually love them, man.
Yeah. I find the cable version a lot easier to do than the dumbbell version. It just, I seem to be able to isolate it a little bit better and not kind of swing and kick quite as much. But yeah, so like I enjoy doing them.
Yeah, you haven't tried doing force reps like I just did right there. Next time you do them, you should try to go past failure and get a couple extra force reps. Man, it lights the tricep up really well. And I always get, like I said, probably my best pump of my triceps from this movement. And like a lot of people say, this movement's worthless, it's junk volume. But, my pump speaks volume, regardless of what the science says. At least that's how I feel about it. How are you liking your diet, man?
Diet's going well. I enjoy the food, so that's always a plus. Makes it easier to want to eat it. But yeah, like doing the ground meat with the rice, a little bit of beef stock. Like I do 3 meals a day while I'm at work, and then I get the yogurt with the fruit, which is always delicious. And then at night, I'm doing a salad with like that canned chicken, which it goes really well together. Again, it's easy to eat, so I don't mind it, and it keeps me full. I'm full pretty much all day long. So no issues there.
All right, what's your favorite meal? What's your worst meal of your diet? What's the one you look forward to the most, and which one's the one you look forward to the least?
The meal I look forward to the most is my ground beef and rice meals. Like I love those meals. But I guess because like, how you grew up eating like chicken and rice? Mm-hmm. I grew up eating ground meat and rice kind of thing. So yeah, those are my favorite meals. And then least favorite, I guess it would, like once I get done with the flavored yogurts, I'll probably go to just like a plain yogurt and go from there. But yeah, like right now, I'm not feeling some of the flavored yogurts. Like I don't mind the vanilla one. The vanilla one's actually the best one that I've had so far. But like the mixed berry one, I don't care for it.
I understand that. But for me, like I think the ground meat rice meal is probably my favorite too. I think my least favorite is my eggs, because I do a pound of egg whites for dinner with peppers and everything. That's probably my least favorite meal of the whole entire day. But as your workouts progress, your diet progresses, and things will change and everything, And how's your hunger levels? Because I know for me, I'm eating actually right at 4,000 calories a day, and I don't get hungry ever. And the thing is too, even if I do get hungry, I don't have cravings because I don't plan cheat meals. I don't think about cheat meals, and I don't actually schedule them, because I find it's harder if you schedule cheat meals because like it makes you dwell and think about the meal to come. You start thinking about all the food you can't have, then you start thinking about like all the food that you want to eat, and then the cravings kick in, and then the hunger is just overwhelming. I find like if I don't have cheat meals and I don't plan them and I don't think about them, the hunger is not there, and it's just so much easier to stick to my diet.
Yeah, like as far as like diet wise goes, like being hungry, like I'm honestly not hungry throughout the day. Like maybe like sometimes 15-20 minutes before my meal is coming up, I might kind of go like, hey, like kind of getting a little hungry. I'm not check the time. It's because it's close to me being able to eat again. But outside of that, I'm not having like any hard cravings or anything like that. But then again, that's also probably because like I went so long just eating junk that like even towards the end before starting to do what we're doing now, like most anything that I was going to eat didn't even sound good. I ended up getting something just because I needed to eat, but none of it actually sounded good. I didn't crave any of the other food that I was eating. So I don't really have any cravings right now.
Yeah, I just don't believe that you're eating junk food, man. With a body like that, I just don't believe that that's what your diet was consistent of. It just doesn't make any sense, because you can't build a delicious body like that from eating bad foods, man. That just doesn't make any sense. That's crazy. You're talking some nonsense there.
That's them bringing back that Taco Bell Mexican pizza right there, buddy.
Yeah. Taco Bell's so bad, but it's so good, man. I mean, that's how I feel about a lot of those foods. That's why I don't think about them, man. That's why when I go on a diet, like, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's crazy. You should be able to cheat and enjoy yourself from time to time, and you should be able to have a meal here and there and blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, I'm not saying other people can't. I'm not saying other people shouldn't. But for me personally, like I'm speaking from personal experience. Like I found whenever I was in the past, anytime I was on a diet, I always had a cheat meal. And that cheat meal led to a cheat day. And then like I just felt like crap the next day. And it would take me 5 days to get back to where I was with my results from that day. And then the other 6 days out the week, I was just dreading, and it was miserable the whole time. And it was just hard for me to stick to my diet because all I want to do was just hurry up and get to Sunday. And again, this is just personal experience. This is just me being like honest and open about it, and there's a lot of reasons why I didn't hit my goals back then, and that was one of them. It was a big chink in my armor, and I'm not a guru, and I'm not some personal trainer or some scientist that's going to tell people what they need to do and how they need to do it, and this is the way to do it. I'm not that guy. I will never be that guy. This is just me speaking from personal experience, and I think a lot of people would honestly benefit if they stopped planning cheat meals. Just stop. Just don't have them, because you don't think about them. It's like taking cigarettes away from a smoker and then telling them, hey, you can have a pack on Sunday, but then expecting them to be fine Monday through Saturday because, I gave you a pack on Sunday. No, it's just going to make the rest of the week worse because all you're doing is thinking about Sunday,
Yeah, that is very, very true. Yeah, but as I said, I don't really have any cravings right now. I'm sure eventually later on something will kind of start to sound good or whatever, but just once we get to that point, I'll figure it out then. But yeah, I'm enjoying the journey I'm on right now. Everything's going well.
Yeah, it makes it easier when you're actually seeing results too, and you're actually, and like I tell people, like, the channel's you, me, and the scale, but the scale isn't the only form of measurement of progress, right? Your clothes fitting looser, veins coming out, your skin getting looser, your muscles getting bigger, the scale dropping down, being more flexible, being more agile, breathing easier, not being winded so much, getting out of bed easier, putting your shoes and socks on easier. There's a lot of other things you can gauge your progress on besides just the scale. Just because the scale's not moving doesn't mean that there's other things that you're not improving on. So there's so many ways to measure progress, and then it's just people get caught up on one thing or the other, or ideology of what it needs to be or how it needs to be. And then I think it becomes so overwhelming because you're not achieving what you think the standard should be, and then they get discouraged and they stop. And I think that's a big issue for a lot of people, and just being realistic and being like, just because the scale didn't move this week, think about where I started, because I had a bad night tonight. I was actually discouraged with my progress. I was actually looking at myself in the mirror tonight, and I was just picking myself apart and upset with my results. And I was very just like discouraging to my own self. Like, man, look at you. You're not even close to where you want to be. You've been doing this for how long? And look how pathetic you look. Like, you know, you're 36. You've been training for years since you've been 14 years old. And this is the body that you have at the end of this. Come on, man. And I was just in my head. And then, like I said, then you just started, you know, I was talking to you about it. And you're like, look, man, it takes a day at a time, meal at a time, and a rep at a time. And you're doing everything right. It's just you took time off, you were injured, and you let yourself go, and you know things happen. So, kind of you know, needed to hear that.
Yeah. Same with me. Like I said, I made all that progress a few years back, and I let that slip. So now I'm working, trying to get back to where I was at with that, and then progress from there. See where I can actually take this. So I'm looking forward to getting back to there and continuing to better myself.
Yeah, my next milestone is Halloween. That's my next deload week. So I'm trying to get into my little nurse outfit. You know, I'm trying to fit back into that. So, but all right. Well, I think that's it for this video. I think that's going to wrap it up tonight. Appreciate you guys watching. If you have any comments you want to leave or anything you'd like to say, positive or negative, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Anything else? You close out, statement, anything? Catchphrase, sign off?
My catchphrase is yep.
Yep. Ow now, brown cow, baby. All right. Till next time, fellas.
Later.
And ladies.